In more local news, Macon-Bibb leaders are exploring different options to preserve Fort Hawkins. The fort was built by the U.S. Army in the early 1800s and served as the first outpost established by English-speaking settlers that traded with the Muskogee Creek population. The area that developed around the fort is now known as Macon. 41 NBC's Taylor Gilchrist has more.
It's an interesting project for people that care about old buildings.
Historians say Macon's story can't be properly told without the mention of Fort Hawkins. The fort stored U.S. Army supplies and rations during the War of 1812. It was also a factory that was central to deerskin trade between Muskogee Creek Indians and European Americans, along with so much more.
The fort also housed a post office, a hospital at one time, a printing press. They also printed money from Fort Hawkins.
In the early 20th century, local leaders joined forces with the federal government to preserve the site's history. A replica of the fort's southeastern blockhouse now sits on the exact location of the original.
That blockhouse is a reconstruction of blockhouses that were there. And it was built and completed in 1938.
Builders used concrete on the replica to mimic what was timber on the original blockhouse. But over time, chunks of that concrete have fallen from the fort's upper levels, and moisture has gotten inside, causing rust. Historic Macon Foundation Executive Director Nathan Lott tells me this raises concerns over the long-term stability of the site.
We've worked on other buildings from that era, so I'm hopeful it will get a scope of work.
Lott says the Historic Macon Foundation connected the Fort Hawkins Foundation with an engineer who Lott says will conduct an initial assessment of the fort next month.
And then from that we can kind of know what the cost will be and help them with their fundraising efforts.
Lott says the goal is to reverse the current conditions of the blockhouse, which he says puts visitors at risk of being hit by falling concrete. He says preservation of the site is necessary as it paints a complete picture of Macon's roots, both the good and bad.
Some of that's, happy stories of entrepreneurship and hard work, and some of that is a story of displacement of the indigenous people that were here. But either way you look at it, it's an important site that marks the beginning of the city of Macon.
In Macon, Taylor Gilchrist, 41 NBC News.
Lott says he's hopeful the county will have a contract for a repair proposal following the initial assessment by this fall.